Hey friends, Margie here from another power walk. Having a really cool place here just to sit, look at the waves behind me, and every now and then when the wave is curling up I can see a shark. That's so cool. So that's why I'm staying here, listening to something cool, taking notes as well, having quite a lot of breakthroughs. That's part of my morning, that's how I condition myself. But my question to you is, what do you do with your mind? Do you focus? Do you control your focus? And where do you go by default? Because all of us, we have, on the left hand side you got the minus, on the right hand side, imagine we have a plus. And minus is all the things that you see that do not work, the negatives, all those challenges, all the problems, everything that comes there. There are people who live the by default and they are really not aware of the second part, where there is this, being this optimist, right? Seeing everything in a yellow colors, everything is nice, is beautiful, everything will work, everything is possible. Where do you live by default and do you control that? And I want to share with you a story. This is Tony Robbins was describing when he met with Nelson Mandela, and he asked him that question. It must have been really hard and you suffered a lot when you were in prison for 27 years. How did you take that? And he looked at him surprised. Suffered? I didn't suffer, I got prepared. Interesting, interesting. When you look at that, when you're able to turn an event of 27 years of your life, taken away from your children, from your life, and call it preparation, not suffering, that's an amazing ability to go into plans in such a hard situation. When we were in Singapore, with Tiffany, we went for this book writing course. And we met a guy who actually got in prison for 3.5 years. And I asked him a couple of questions also along the lines like, how hard was it? And he said, it wasn't hard. I consider the time in prison to be a blessing. I'm really blessed that I ended up there. Because he said, I had food, I had accommodation, and I could study from early morning till late evening. And that's what he did. On the back of that, he changed his life. And he built a big business right now that is impacting people for good. So my question to you is, where do you go by default and do you train your mind? Do you train, this is the power of the flip. Do you go with your flip to the positive things? Because every single thing that you look around has actually two things. But the question is, where does your mind go? What meaning do you assign to that? Because that will determine the action that you're gonna take, and that will determine where you're gonna end up very, very soon, or where you have ended up by now. You might reflect back and basically say, what an amazing life I've had, because I live in gratitude, I live with love, and I'm such a blessed person, and I count my blessings. Or you might say, it's so hard, it's not my fault, and the politicians, the weather, the people around me, the lack of money, all those different things that you don't have. So I encourage you, I'm talking to you from my power hour, watching sharks behind me, and I want to encourage you to create a ritual that will help you reset a little bit your default. Leave some comments below and see you soon. Bye bye.